Okay, so here we go. We are in. Let's see. Get the chat hooked up here. Although realistically, I won't be able to see it, but be nice if you guys can see your chat. So. Not the right window. Let's see if it catches the other window. It's weird, it doesn't see the pop-out chat window, which is bizarre. I guess I'll go to my docs and see if I can grab the... Custom browser docs. This is going to be... Hey, welcome, welcome. Not quite going yet, but slowly but surely. That's so weird. When I do it that way, I get the most bizarre results for the chat. That's the old chat. Let's see if we can readdress it. I think it's there. All right. So the window is not showing for some reason. Maybe it's the blending mode. Huh. That's so bizarre. I want the chat to be like right there. I don't know, I can't figure out why the chat's not working. But I've been stuck on that for a while. Like when it does work, it doesn't appear in dark mode. And when it doesn't work, it just... And it wouldn't be that much of a problem if I didn't have to do this every time. You know, it doesn't automatically find your chat and bring it in. It is a complication. There's got to be a way to have this sync with that. So this is capturing the whole window. Why can't I capture this window? Oh well. I'll figure it out eventually. So, the goal is to rebuild one of the levels from Resident Evil. So I'll turn off game capture, I'll turn on display. Oh, you get to see everything now. So here's Jill. I'll be making her in another video. I don't think I'm going to do that right now. I don't need that. We will need Maya. I'll go ahead and just open that up and have some Unreal. So I've various versions of Unreal on here. We're going to be using 5.23. And I'll hit launch. This may take a minute. While that's doing its thing, let me get that reference image. Weird, it didn't capture that. Huh. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to be rebuilding this room. So it's just a long hallway. There's a little bit more at the end, on either end. We're going to do just this one hall. There's a little box over here that you can interact with for the rotation. And then this rotating section we have to build. So you have a few options inside of Unreal. You can use BSPs to build your environment, or you can do your building inside of Maya. Either is really fine. You can convert BSPs back into static meshes when you're done with them, which is what you should do. Or you can build your stuff in Maya. So either or. But it's a lot faster to do it in BSPs because you can just kind of rough it out. So while Unreal is doing its thing, maybe I will build this texture here. So I'll jump into Photoshop. And I'll just make a new document. This is a pretty low-res game, so to keep that low-res look, I'll do 1024 by 1024, which is probably too high. And I'll just create. I'll make it empty. I'll get rid of this background. Need to make some bricks. Let's darken this. I'll do a solid color. That's fine. And then for each brick, really? Is it going to get stuck? Wow. You know, what's the point of building a computer for it to constantly have this kind of issue? Like, weird. For a second, the the alert on the stream said it dropped, but it's still going. All right, so we have a background. And I'll just make a brick. Cool. And if I look at this image, there are various shapes and sizes. Here's this one. One thing I want to do with all these is make sure they have an outline. There we go. You can be as creative as you want with this kind of stuff. It doesn't really matter. Whoops. I didn't mean to do that, but hey, it's fine. Deselect here, and I'll just move some of these around. If you pop on in, just say hello, because I don't necessarily know you're going to be there. Move this one up. I'm not too worried about gaps being in here. This is just for fun. I always encourage, if you're getting into game design or you're doing art of any kind, to find reasons to do... Oh, come on. Do you have to make that irritating high-pitched noise? If I wanted a baby, I would have one. Oh, that sound is awful. Okay. Anyway, I was saying that regardless of what medium of art you're doing, or if you're doing game design or whatever not, highly recommend taking the time to find reasons to exercise your skills. Like for this little project, I don't really think it's going to take that long to build in Unreal. Oops. Why is that one being broken? And I think it'll be a fun thing to do. So that's why I'm doing it. There we go. So we have some bricks. And then you can color these however you like. So in the picture here, it's a various, hodgepodge of like white with this mossy green, and there's some dark spots on it. And I'll go ahead and build a project here. So for Unreal, I'm going to do games. I'll do C++. And I'll do this as Resident Evil. I don't know, what should we call it? Tutorial? It's not really a tutorial. I'll just call it Resident Evil. That's what it is. I'll let that build. And if it crashes, we'll know that I have the wrong version of Visual Studio in. Alright, jump back into Photoshop. I think I will shuffle some of these rocks over. Not that it matters, just playing around with the form. Okay. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to use this as a base for all the different rocks. So I'll throw those into a group. Then I'll make a copy of that group, and I will merge it down. And let's make that black and white. Adjustments. Black and white. Okay. Now I want that mossy green stuff. So I'm going to do a base of that green color. Actually, the white's good. Let me do a couple shades of that green. Let me copy this. No, I don't want that one. Didn't that copy? There we go. Now I'll grab some of the colors out of here. So that, and maybe a lighter green. There's that one. Actually, we get a little darker than that, but not too dark. There we go. And I'll do a clouds on that. Alright, we'll overlay that with the background. So I'll hit normal, and then on the keyboard I'm just going to hit the down arrow. You can see the different patterns. That's kind of neat. I kind of like... I kind of like that color burn. That's kind of neat. But that's really, really dark. Wonder if I can do anything with that. Maybe. What does overlay look like? Let's multiply. Overlay's too light. Alright, so I'll take a multiply, and I'll do this. I'll throw on a mask, and on that mask I will do another cloud, and then I can push the values of that mask say like something like that. Then I can do another another layer here. This one I'll do darker. So on that I'll go slightly darker this way. And on this one I'll go darker here. Let's adjust this brightness and contrast. Let's break that down. I'll put that underneath. Let's try this one on a multiply. Okay. Let's see if I normal that. Just bring down the opacity some. No, that doesn't work for me. Let me do another mask on there. Not bad. Adjustments and levels. I'll adjust this a little bit. Okay, cool. That should be good enough. And then let me go ahead and just save this. Where's game design? Textures. I'll do this as RE bricks. Alright, so a few things I want out of here. I do want just this. Actually, I'll do it like this. Let me take these. I'll flatten one off. And again, this is not the best way to do it, but it'll get us something quick. So I'm gonna take this. If you really want to get these bricks really nice, you do something like this. You take it into ZBrush and you push up the values, and then you'd have actual bricks to mess with, and you could shape them off and make them fancy. I'm not going to do that. The whole point is to do something pretty quick. So I'll blend that through. And then let's do a filter. Normal map is still here, so we'll use it. Yeah. Detail scaling. Let's move that up to about 80. That should be good, and then this one. Is Unreal done? An error occurred while trying to process that. I don't have the updated version of which one? Well, that's lame. I have to update. I have 22. Why is that not showing up? There's always something. Always a headache, you know? How come Visual Studio is not showing up on my thing? It's behaving like I don't have it. Although I definitely should. Unless something stupid in the latest update. Yeah, it's there. I guess I'll just run an update. Hey, welcome, welcome. I'm just updating Visual Studio because it's being a pain. Like so. Alright, so we built this. I'm going to save out that texture. So this is going to be RE Bricks. This is going to be the diffuse. If you're in, if you're doing Unity, diffuse and an albedo, they're essentially the same thing. There is a difference between the two. Make this a Targa. And albedo is basically the raw color with no shadows. A diffuse has kind of everything in it. But it's neither here nor there. They and a JPEG Targa effectively do about the same thing. How's Visual Studio going? Still updating. While that's doing its thing, I think I'll make the walls in here. So I'll throw in a block. Jill is 5'5". Let's see what that's gonna be. So 5'5", we'll do by 12, so that's 66 inches, and then 2.54. So 167.64, so 168-ish. So she is 168 centimeters tall. Let's see. Um, 168, 2. So we'll do 84 to get the height of Jill. Really, other characters can fit in here, so maybe I'll just do, well, based off the average height of a 6 foot tall person, and we'll do 90. Okay. And then for the interior of this thing, I'll go ahead and just make, yeah, I guess I'll make a cube, and then we'll just restructure it. So there we go. Assuming this is the ground. So I did about 400 units. Yeah, good enough. The wall thickness on this looks like it is pretty decent. So I'm gonna hollow this out. Like so. And then I'll flip this around. Actually, it doesn't really matter if I flip it around. Because once I extrude it, it'll be even. So here comes the big question, though. Should I do... Like, I can make the whole tunnel as a single unit, right? Or I can make a single wall, and then I can rotate each wall to get the shape that I need. That's what makes the most sense. If I want this hole then is something that I would have to cut out like I'm doing. So let's be more practical. I'll put that back. I'll make this roughly one wall. Let's make Jill here. Will be 32 by 32, so it's not just a stick. Okay. So based on the image, that's probably right. Because I've got a good amount of distance up top, and that's bottom. Okay. So we'll pretend that this is the wall. And I'll just move that back to center. And then I want to bake these properties. So modify, let's go ahead and freeze the transforms. And then I will do the UVs on this thing. UV editor. Let's do an automatic. Oh, that worked out great. And now I'm going to put that texture on. That one's fine. All texture. Game design. Textures. And that is RE diffuse. So here that is applied. Let's do this. Let's turn the grid off. Where's the grid at? Yeah. So what I want to do here is I want to make sure that the bricks really fill this space. So I'm going to violate some rules here. I'm going to move all the UVs off of this. I'm going to take the front of this and I'm going to scale it up. Do the same thing with that. So when you're doing UVs, the general rule of thumb is everything has to be in the 0-1 space, and you don't want things overlapping. But if you understand that the reason you don't want to, if you understand the reason behind why things should not overlap, then you can kind of break the rules a little bit. So the reason you don't overlap things is you don't want to have color bleeding onto weird spaces when you don't need it, and you don't want to have shadows being drawn incorrectly. Because when a shadow is cast on the object, it's going to read its UV coordinate space and try to figure out where to put that shadow. In this particular case, if I line all these up, the shadows will overlap, but I'm going to create a separate channel just for shadows, so I can put everything, as far as the color is concerned, onto the same map and get what I want. So that's pretty good there. And then on these corners, I have all these. And I can take these and orient them however I like. So I'm going to put them here. And I'm going to scale, see if I can find the center of this. I'll just go ahead and scale them until they're about the right size here. Alright. Now some of these are going to be good, and then some of them are going to be weird. So these look like they're okay. That side looks okay. Actually, they all kind of came out fine. To make some unique like arrangements, you can definitely take these and rotate them so that maybe you have this pattern instead, but I'll leave that up to you. So let's say I like this. I'm going to take all the UVs here, and I will go up to UV sets, and let's go ahead and copy to a new UV set. Now I'm on a whole new set, and you can see here I have two sets. I've got map 1 and UV set here. So that's this one and that one. On the new one, I will take all this stuff, and then I will automatic it. What error did I get there? Now I have one of these for the light map, and then I have the other one for the texture. Cool. And then if you look at the picture here, these walls are not perfect. You can see that they kind of bend out in some areas. Some of them are flat, some of them are not. So I can make a couple different versions of the wall. Sorry, just checking chat. I don't have the other screen up. Has this updated yet? 54%. That's taking a while. How's the stream is going okay? Alright. Alright, so here's one wall. I'll duplicate that. Now I have another wall. And on this one, I can make some subtle changes. If I'm not doing anything extreme, I can just add to the current design. So there we go. This game's pretty low res, so maybe I'll only put like a couple cuts into here. There's one. Yay. So I'll call this wall straight. This is wall bent. Get my straight wall, I'll move that off. Let me hide these guys. This one I'm going to want a hole in it. To cut the hole, I'll just slice. Now as I do this, I'm going to end up with some new UVs. So this one and that one, let's go ahead and bridge. Those are all kind of funky. That's okay. Those ones. Crap. Stop being so slow. I will automatic those. Let's move them out. And let's check the color space here. if Maya crashed, I'm gonna cry and then go to bed because that's just nonsense. It's not a bad amount of work to lose. It's just I hate repeating myself. I hate wasting my time. Looks like it didn't crash though. It's a good time to save though. I will say res, what is this? Walls. Yay. I'll move those over. And those can all occupy the same space. And again, I will grab everything and then I will copy the UVs to set. And then inside the new set, let's do an automatic arrangement. That's better. And then I can be kind of creative with how these are, you know, I can take the edges and bend them or do whatever. So I'm going to grab this one, maybe I'll do kind of like a little jagged thing, and this one, maybe go in. Actually, I'll just do that on all of them. Here's the hole. This is wall, hole. We'll set that back to 0. Good enough. And for each of these, grab the different walls here. Let's freeze transforms. And delete the history of them. Alright, got all the walls. Cool. Alright, I have to export each one of these. Let's do... Where are we at? Let's go to Maya. When I have Maya... Oh, I'm on OneDrive. Why am I on OneDrive? That's a weird place to be. Projects, default, scenes, tutorials. Let's go to FBX. Where are you, Mr. FBX export? There you are. Which wall do I have? SM wall straight. This is wall bent. Get bent. And wall with a hole. I heard a bling, but I don't know what the bling was for. Hey, welcome, welcome. Yeah, thank you. You too. Let me try to move this so I can see the thing. But yeah, thank you for the kudos, Richard. Yes, have a happy new year. Appreciate it. Let's see. So at the moment, I'm just kind of waiting for Unreal to kind of catch up with things. I guess I could do it in Unity. Why is Unreal taking forever? Why are so many ostriches? I mean, I could do it and do it as a blueprint, but I wanted to do it as code. But if Visual Studio is updating, then I can't do it in Unity either. So, oops. Yeah, for some reason it got hung. 67%. Oof. That's gonna be a minute. All right, options. Guess I could fire up Unity. The process is similar if I do it in Unreal or Unity. It's harder to do in Unreal code-wise. It's super easy to do as a blueprint. The material editor is better in Unreal. I can start the Unreal project as a blueprint project and then add C++ components on as I go. That's always an option. Any takers? Anything? I'll jump back into here and here to not have a million windows. I'll go ahead and just poke that. Which option should I go with? Nobody? No guesses? No offers? I could take this moment while Unreal's updating to make Jill. What are we at? 71%. All right. So I've got this reference model of Jill, or reference image of Jill. Not too bad. It's kind of like a mix of Jill and Rebecca, honestly, with how youthful she is. Because Rebecca's like 18 in the story, and Jill, I think, is 24. But anyway, I'll go ahead and load this in. This has been saved, hopefully. Let's do a low-res version of Jill so I don't have to be here all night. So I've got these set up. And they should be pretty even Steven. So let's start with the torso. Let's do this as X-ray. So we're going to do low res, and we're going to keep it in sections. You know what, I guess I can work with symmetry on. So she has, in this pose, a very arched back. I don't know if I'm going to do that. But Yeah, the images aren't perfect, but I think it'll be good enough. Let's get our cutting tool, a couple things for the back, and chest. Let's do one line under, and I'll take this in. What's the line for that neck? Is that about equal? Not too bad there. Take the back in a little bit. Let's go ahead and split this. And I'll move these in. I've got symmetry on. I want to cut a line in the middle. So what I can do is turn symmetry off, and I can go to mesh tools and get the insert edge loop tool. Set it to multi, and then drop it down to 1, hit the middle. Ooh, it didn't go. That should have cut. Oh, I have it set to 0, that's why. Very good. Move that back out. I think that's good enough. Shoulders. Okay, let's get this neck. So, whenever you do an extrusion with symmetry on, you'll get this weird shape. If that bugs you, you can hit W, and that'll just give you a centered move tool. You can always turn symmetry off. Oops, I still want that selection. I think that's close enough. Okay, so now we're going to do the hips. Also, welcome if you're just coming on. Just working on getting Jill done. Yeah, I'll do a cube. Let's move that up. Ding. I don't want to reboot right now. Go ahead and close that. Symmetry on. bikini line. Actually, I don't have to worry about bikini line because I'm not doing skin weighting, so I can totally ignore that and do a straight across sort of torso. So that's what I'm going to do here. We are losing some depth, but this is the gear. That's not really body, so I'm not worried about that. Let's go into the side view here. Actually, I'll go full back, full forward. So, I mean, realistically, what I could do is I could subdivide here, shape this, and then cut it instead of having to I'm already here. Doesn't matter. To get that center line, once again, I'll just turn symmetry off and get insert edge loop, and I'll throw one right there. Turn symmetry back on. To line this up so that it doesn't create a gap, I can hold down the V key and just V-snap that point. Okay. For the legs, so yeah, I could do it that way. Let's try to debate on. Let me fire up the game actually. Where is PlayStation? I want to see exactly how that is done for that model. Let's turn this on. Let's drop this. I'll put game capture on. Let me swap to... Can you see that? Is that easier to see? Welcome, welcome, by the way. Alright. Resident Eyeball. Welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining. I'm going to take a look at Jill here. So yeah, it looks like they did exactly that. So they did the lower half of the torso, and then they just overlapped the legs. You know, while I'm here, I can always go back to that tunnel. Let me take a look at how that tunnel laid on the different ends of the tunnel. Assuming I can go back that far. It might tell me that I can't go back. Welcome, welcome. Okay, so if I go this way... Ah! Get off, mate. Bad touch. Alright, let's get up here. Ah, that's not the room I want. Although I could make this room too. That'd be neat. Yes. There is a ladder. Will you climb it? No. Hey, welcome, welcome. Thank you for joining me. Just running on the way back to the room that I want to check out. You guys have any big plans for the New Year's? Gonna have a party? Gonna go out anywhere? Getting together with family, friends? I don't think we're doing anything special. I vaguely recall my wife saying something about her family. I'm a bad listener. I got to escape Christmas, but I have to do something with New Year's. Okay. Okay, so this particular room, I've got a dial on the wall. This runs all the way back here. There's a little offshoot. And then back here, there's that. So let's bring up paint here. Can I do a window capture? Let me add on a window. Yeah, paint. Awesome. Here's paint. Paint's taking up the whole screen real quick. Let's make some adjustments. Oops. Good enough. So the layout so far looks like this. We've got a tunnel. Over here is like a little offshoot in the back end. This is the spinning room section. And then there's like a little pocket here. Back here is a section with the boulder. So where's that boulder? Here's the boulder. And then what do we got? So right next to the boulder we have this little tunnel to the side, and that goes into here. Okay. So boulder, there is, oops. This little section, and that goes farther back to an elevator. And then between those two things, there's a door space. So hall, there's like a door. Yeah, and then that. Let's go take a look at the other spot. Let me turn that part off. Okay, so then in here, if I go back this way, on this side room, it's a square, and that leads into a room here. But rooms don't really exist outside of this space, so that's probably okay. Alright. Let's hide that. Let's jump back into Unreal here. I guess I'll set it up as Blueprint for now, and I'll come back and do some C++ things after I reboot. So while that's firing up, I'll jump back in. We'll continue with Jill here. Go ahead and just put this extra right here, and then let's turn this off. There we go. Get the booty hidden. These up here are not needed, so I can really just hide this torso. And then anything that is not needed, I can probably just merge down here. So two options, I could merge it or I can just cut it. So if I take underneath, I need that. This I don't need, this I don't need. I don't need these. Or these, I just cut. But then I have to do something about those edges and those extra vertices. So I'll grab that and then delete. And then these have to get merged. Oh, I lost the the whole reason of doing that. There we go. Let's turn the torso back on. She looks super skinny, doesn't she? Maybe I'll thicken things out. Okay, legs. Looks like the legs are done. Not as a full rectangle. Let's see. I continue. Hey, welcome to the stream. Okay. I guess I'll do these as cylinders here. Let's drop these down to about 6 subdivisions. Radius, I'll fill that out. Height, about to the knee. Kind of looks like in the game, it doesn't matter. I don't have to do that. I was going to be super precise with it, but I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to just make that match about here. Boy, stop that. So up to here's probably good. I'll just widen this. Probably good enough. Yeah. So what I can kind of do is move this one in. Oops. Of course, in the game, you can see that the leg does clip, so I'm not going to worry about the leg clipping. I'm just going to move this back. Oh, crap. Make sure symmetry's on when I do that. That's probably good enough. You know, it's supposed to be low res. And then we get the lower leg. Oh, let me get the front of that. Sometimes symmetry does not want to cooperate. Okay. Next part of the leg. What would be simpler, instead of trying to shape a piece to match that exact thing, would be to build off of what I have. So what I'll do is extrude from here. Yeah, let's go all the way to the floor. So the reason they did segmented bodies back in the day is it's just easier to rig them up. You don't have to worry about skin weighting. That's a bit of a pain. And during the early days of model making, not everybody could do it, so. I do like the little point for the pant leg there. I guess I don't have to be super precise. This is supposed to be low res, but we'll move this in. Just a little bit more. Yeah, good enough. And then we'll flare the boot out. I don't really want to extrude it, so I think I'll just center this up. And then move it back. Let's do, I guess, a cut here. I'll do a cut for the heel. Kind of feel like I need to just move this . How does that look? A bit flat. Need to widen that up. Yeah, definitely. So let's do this. Just gonna eyeball it. It's supposed to be low res, so I'm going to try not to get too bogged down in the details here. Close enough. Let's do this. This will just make a nice dividing line, so when I do texturing, it'll be a little bit nicer. Front of the boot. Let's pull this out and back. Okay, and then for the leg here, I can go where the knee is. The knee is right under this pad here. So, technically a knee pad falls right in the middle. So I will just cut, let's see, where is that falling? About middle of the pad. That's probably fine. that. And let's do a detach. Let's see, where is detach? Save. And then let's do a separate. Hide the lower end. We'll fill in the gaps here. Oops, that's terrible. So the reason I didn't just use a fill hole is so I don't have to go through and cut the edges. I'm just going to take this and then do a merge center, and that fills it for me. Then I have to go through and manually cut those. That would be a annoyance. Do the same thing on the lower end though. So for example, if I do this and do fill hole, I then have to go through, I don't have to, but you shouldn't leave end guns floating around, so at the very least I have to do at least one cut to make sure it's not, you know, messy. Now I am going to actually do a cut all the way through so I can round off that toe. So I'll do a center cut here. Ooh, it doesn't want to go through. Let's do this. I'm going to save, and then let's clear history. Hey, welcome to the stream. I can't actually see chat, so I have to pop in here and look at it once in a while. But feel free to talk, say things. I'll answer questions. Happy to engage. Alright, I'm going to round that toe off. We'll also round off the heel. Yes. Move these back. Now, rounding things off is just understanding that there's a bend between two corners, right? So let me put a plane down here. Can I drop this without dropping it? There we go. Right, so here's a plane. And at this point, this plane is pretty square, right? If I want to make this plane rounder, well, I take the corner and I move the corner in a little bit, and now it's rounder. That's all rounding is, right? If you want to go even rounder, you have to do an extra cut. So do a cut and a cut, right? And now I can move this corner in more relative to those two corners. I can move these two corners in relative to its neighboring corner. That's all I'm doing. And that's just going to help the eye as it's following the shape. That I'm not going to worry about too much. I think that's good enough for the visual. If her legs are too thin, we'll address that as we go, I think. Okay, so that leg, this is lower leg. This is leg upper. And actually, I should specify. Left, left. Yeah, she is coming out really thin compared to this sketch here. For the other side of the leg, I'm just going to mirror. So clear the history on it, and then mesh, mirror. She's facing down the Z, so I'm going to use the my left and right axis is going to be X, so X is there. Make a copy. I'll use world, and I don't want to merge. I'll just hit apply. Ooh, that went inside out. I have to do one at a time. It's a good thing I saved. I think Maya just crashed. Oh, there it is. Maya stopped responding. That's why you save before you do stuff. Close it. Hey, Unreal opened. Alright, let's finish up Jill here. Seriously? Help us improve Unreal Engine. Well, worrying about Maya at the moment. Let me just hit the desktop and I'll just grab. There we go. Welcome to the stream, by the way. While Maya is open, let's go ahead and prep this environment. So, we do a new level. I'm just going to do an empty. Let's name this. I'll do a save current level. Let's make a folder for maps. I'm sure on the Resident Evil wiki there's an actual name for this area. I'm just going to call it tunnel. Tunnel room. And let's get this. For my content, let's make a couple folders. Folder. Let's do static meshes. Another one, this will be materials. Let's do textures. Blueprints. I'm going to need an animation folder. Animations and a skeletal mesh folder. So skeletal mesh. Inside of blueprints, I'm going to need a system folder. And I'll need an environment. Let's see, what else do I need in here? Characters, and I'll make one for items. Just planning ahead. I think that's all the stuff I need for there. Let me try saving this whole shabam. And see if I can add a C++ option here. So Nope, I don't have it. I might have to reboot, which I don't want to do. That's lame. Well, I'll go as far as I can with what I have, and then I'll do some coding later. So let's see, is Maya up yet? Maya is. There's Jill recovered. I'll just go back to this one. Cool. Inside of Unreal, let's go to static meshes, and let me retrieve those. That's going to be under Maya. Projects, default, scenes, tutorials, the various wall pieces, so I'll bring those in. They are all static meshes. Sure, I'll have it generate mesh and collision, and we'll just import all as they are. One of the nice things about Unreal is it will grab the material and the accompanying texture, so I don't have to go fishing for it, which is kind of awesome. I'll go ahead and drop those in the appropriate folders. And actually, I should really save that before I do that. Unreal does like crashing. And here's the material. I'll drop that into the materials folder. Here are my various objects. Here's that wall. If I want to look at the collision, I can go down to collision, and actually there should be a, where's my view list? Show simple collision. And there's the simplified collision, which is fine for here. I do have a piece that requires some heavier stuff, so this guy, for this I'm going to want complex collision, so if I go down and I show complex, this is what I'm going to be looking at. And then on my collision over here, where is collision? Collision preset is currently set to block all. Collision complexity needs to be set to let's see. I want to use the complex, so it should be this one. And I'll just save that. And this Unreal should have also found the light map. So if I go and look at the UVs here, where are my UVs? These have various channels. Here's channel 1. This is my color channel. And there's my channel 2. This is my light map. Now Unreal will generate a light map for us. And this is the Unreal generated light map. It doesn't matter which one you use. Just know that Unreal will generate one for you. And I can choose to remove one, so if I want to not use this one, or whichever, it's fine. Okay. The one texture I do need is going to be the normal, which is in the game design folder. Where's game design at? Textures. Normal. Textures, grab that. And then I'll open up the material. Unreal's material editor is just amazing. Can't say enough awesome things about it. That I don't need, but I do need my texture sample. So let me go ahead and just duplicate that. This one needs to be a normal map, so drop that down. I'll grab the normal. And I'll plug the normal into the normal map. Look at that. It's like, why would you ever choose to use Unity? Okay. Did Maya ever open up? It did. I'll jump back to that in a minute. Let's save what we got and start building this map. So what do I want? I want some static meshes here. Now the exact orientation is up to you. X is forward, Z is up, and Y is left and right. So from this particular perspective, I can continue building however long. I really don't know how long of a tunnel I need. So I'm just going to drag in some pieces here. And I'll just go ahead and set these to 0. Alright. Let's go into a top view. And I will, let's assume that way over here, actually before I do that, what's our current snapping? Our snapping amount is 10 units. Let's move that up to 50 units. It's going to be kind of hard to gauge. I'm going to have to do some guessing. Let's say from 0, actually let's go back down to, let's do 10 units. So I'm going to make it to where basically each wall section is basically a room. Let's go back to about here. So maybe 1 room, 2 rooms. I'll move you out of the way. Let's make this one. I think I need 1 more this way. Right, because the boulder's here. This one has a tunnel that leads this way. We have some open space, and then we've got this section and then that section. Hey, how's it going? Play Overwatch. What is stat padding? Can we play Overwatch? I don't even have Overwatch. I used to play Gun Z, but I don't have Overwatch. What exactly is stat padding? Somebody fill me in on that. I'm old and stupid, so you have to bear with me. Okay, so got that and that and that, and then right, so boulder, entrance, space, rotation room, and then next hallway area. Yeah, good enough. Okay, and then for each one of these, I can lay one of these flat. So grab that, and let's rotate this. We'll do 90. It's being buggy. I'm just gonna duplicate these. I think that's close enough. So perspective, here are my walls. Probably not too bad. This one actually has a wall here, so I'll just take this one, go up top here. Let's make a copy of that one. And I'll rotate, move that to about here. This hallway needs to be open, this one needs to be closed. This section needs to be a revolving section, right? So we enter, we have a hall, this one revolves, this is the next section. So this I'll build that as a separate piece. And these I will do this way. And then these, I was hoping to get both of them, but I guess I didn't. So here's this. Okay, and actually this one needs to be an offshoot into another area, right? Where's our map? Yeah, so we need this one to go off, and there's a little spot here, a little hallway, and then a little hallway. So with this, let's do maybe kind of like that. I'll nuke this one, and I'll just stretch this wall. Let's do it this way. Download it? Maybe. You want to destroy me in Overwatch? Or you could play me in Counter-Strike. Or Half-Life 2 Deathmatch. I can bring those back up. Okay, so we got that. This hallway. And there's like a door over here, and then we have this wall. like this back section. I need a floor. Okay. So this wall here does not need to be here anymore. Alright, the boulder sits there. That is here. This part of the wall, actually we could push this part of the wall out a little bit to just make it look a little bit more lively. Let's see. This is going to be an open space. This is open. For the ceiling. So if I'm inside this level here, naturally I can't, you don't want me looking up and seeing outside of the ceiling. So for those, pretty easy. I'm just going to take all these and make these into the ceiling here. Kind of works. Now, of course, from this hallway, where's that image? Yeah, so some of these walls have some bend to them. So what I can do to make this a little bit more the point, I can select wall pieces. And what's kind of neat is I have the option to just replace wall sections. So let's see. So if I go down to replace selected actor, I can pick my bent wall. There's one that's bent. Let's replace this one. Just to liven this up a little bit, you know. Flip that one around. That's kind of cool. Of course, if I were to play from in here, it would be very, very dark. So we need to add some lights in here. So if we look inside the game, what sources of light do we have? I don't really see any natural sources like torches or anything. Let me jump into the actual game here. Hey, welcome to the stream. You guys see everything? Okay. So, oh, that was so weird. I don't see any overheads. Nope, there's just some magical places where there's light. Mm. I have to restructure this room a little bit. Tell you what, the contrast and lack of shadows really make it difficult to see what's going on. Okay. Lights. Let's go to lights. Let's grab, what do we got? Well, skylight won't do us any good. Let's grab some point lights here. Where is that light at? There it is. Unreal gets kind of mad if you have multiple overlaps. So I'm going to take the attenuation radius on this light. Where is that? Let's drop that down to like 256. How about 512? 480? Want to go a little bit tinier. 360. I think 360 is good. I do want to make some adjustments to this light. First, I want to take the intensity down, but I also want to adjust sort of like the natural fall off of this light. So if I use temperature, come down into here and change this to advanced. Let's see what our options are here. Inverse square, yeah, we'll keep that on. So temperature of the now I can directly change the light color and not worry about temperature, or I can try to say if I don't use that though. If I uncheck temperature, I can come in and directly just change the light to a color and get something close to that, you know. I like temperature though. I think this gives us a nice color. Oh, looks like there was a bit of a stutter there. You guys still with me? Hey, welcome back. We had a bit of a frame drop there. Okay. That. Can I go lower? Okay. Let's try moving this light. Top view. How does that look? The hallway. I think there's like actually a hallway, and then we get into a slightly elongated room. So Let's move this one. Go about this far, and then one this far. Unreal will likely yell at me for the number of lights that I have. But we'll see. Actually, I'll leave a gap here. Alright, let's go ahead and do a light bake. So, where are our options for build? Where are they? Build, let's do build lights only. Okay. So this is kind of what this room's going to look like with the lights as they are. This room is very, very dark and it's missing a floor. So let's go back to unlit so I can actually see what I'm doing here. So if I'm missing a floor, that means I'm probably missing a ceiling as well. And I am. Let's fill in the floor gap. There we go. And then that, just make another one of those. Now you'll have to go through as you're building your level and just check for gaps and stuff. If you find them, just fill them in. You know, move things. I don't see this too much with Unreal anymore, but back in the day with Valve Hammer, and older versions of Unreal for sure. So if you get like Unreal Engine 3 and or the UT3 editor, or the old version of Valve Hammer, I don't know if the new one has this, I haven't used it. But basically, anytime you had anything that looked into the void, it would just be infinite draw, and you would see layers upon layers of infinity, and it makes you very, very dizzy. I don't see that. I haven't seen that in Unreal 4, so there is an infinite void, it just doesn't hurt to look at. So you'll just stretch these walls a little bit. Alright, the player will never know. Okay, so those are readjusted, and then I will do a quick light build. Oh, this hallway I want to... Actually, I'll leave that hall alone. We'll go ahead and rebuild lights. Lights. Build lights. Now there are a number of other things I can do in the light settings for adjusting the number of bounces and such. But, I mean, come on. Does this game look like it has any light bounces? Let's turn the lights back on. That looks pretty cool. Now my cobblestone looks kind of awful because of the way that I made it, but still. This one room is real dark. So this is where like increasing the number of light bounces would be good, because some of these shadows in here are just really, really dark. So let me go to my world settings. Window. Where are world settings? There they are. Let's go down to light mass. It would be good to actually put a light mass importance volume around this. So, volumes. Where is my light mass importance volume? There it is. So what this does is it tells Unreal what is important and what is not. You can have an infinite light mass boundary. So like on this volume here, there's an option on the details to basically tell it to be infinite. Where are you at? It's in here somewhere. But we don't need this room to be infinitely lit. We need just this space here. So I'm just going to make the volume big enough to cover the room. If you have an open world game, you're going to want your volumes, you're going to want multiple importance volumes. Or you can set it to do infinite. And since it's done by chunking, it'll try to figure it out, but you'll still have to go through and tune it. Let's make this a little bit wider. Alright, I'll do my side view. Let's make sure that this is tall enough. And since I know I'm going to have that rotating section can fall outside this volume, so I'm going to make this volume a little bit bigger. Like that. So this is the area that's important for calculating light bounces and other important bits of the lighting. Let's see. World settings, light mass settings. Number of indirect light bounces, we've got 4. I don't really have any skylights, so I'll worry about that. Indirect lighting quality. So you can kind of see what this does if you hover over. It says, setting this higher than 1 will greatly increase the build times. Can be used to increase the global illumination solver sample counts in order to get a higher quality for levels that need it. It can be useful to reduce indirect lighting smoothness somewhat, approximately 75, when increasing quality to get defined indirect shadows. Note that this can't affect compressed artifacts, UV seams, and other things. Let's see. Static lighting scale. I mean, 3 was going to be my target, so I guess I can take this up to 5 indirect light bounces. What's this? Let's go up to 5 light bounces, and I have the importance volume on there. We'll see what we get out of that. Build lights. That's pretty quick. Yeah, this room did not get anything. So let's go back up to a top view here. Let me try to fill in a couple of these areas. How's everybody going? Let's see. It's pretty funny. Okay. Light has been built. It's not too bad. I can, of course, play around more with the lighting. Now, of course, you don't really want to have random hot spots like over here. You can see that there's a bright spot here, but there's no light source, right? So you should go through and add in like a torch or something to make it look like, hey, that's where the light's coming from. I'll save that for another time. What I really want to do right now, though, is get this section of the room built. So to do that, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to jump in and create a blueprint of this section. What I really want to do is do it using some coding. So I can build the blueprint and then I can change the parent class of it later. I think that's okay. I'll go to environment, I'll make a blueprint. Let's do an actor class. And I'll call this rotating wall. Now, if you're working in Unity, a blueprint is the same thing as a prefab. It's just an object that I can reuse, and I can do some coding directly onto it and work with it. So inside of here, I need to add in some static meshes. So let's add on a static mesh. So what do I have? I'll say wall left, right, we'll say floor, and then what, ceiling? And then each of those, I can just add in my components. So maybe a bent wall for one of them, and then on another one, maybe I'll do a straight wall, maybe another straight wall, and one of these is a bent wall. Or sorry, one has a hole in it. Okay, so remember that X is the direction of my tunnel. So I really want these walls. I go into my top view here. So my right wall, move that. Actually, let me do this based on the floor. So where's the floor at? Transform. Ceiling is about the same deal. My right wall. And my left wall. And then of course right and left are relative to your facing direction, so cool. Now when these actually start off, they start off in the other direction. So I'll do this one over here. I'll do that one. Actually, why am I doing that? I'm being silly. I can just change the mesh. So this one will be hole, and this one will be solid. I can make it a bent wall. I guess I could have done a bent wall with a hole in it, but that's fine. Compile that. And the root for this is tricky. So these guys need to be anchored elsewhere. So the basic scene root is here, but I do need an anchor point. So I can anchor these. So I go into like a top view or whatever. Huh. Anyway, what I was looking for was the visible scene root. Its default position is 0, 0. But I can give these guys a different root position. So let's see. What can I add on for a relative? Okay. Then I want all these to be children of that. Right? And then I can take this root component here, and I can rotate this. Okay, and I should be able to just drop that into here. So where's my blueprint? Here's my blueprinted wall. There it is. Yeah, look at that. Let me go to my top view. Just make sure this fits. There we go. So we have a little bit of off-centeredness because this is lower. This could be a problem for when we're walking. So right now, it being above us is not that big of a deal, but once this is rotated, it could provide a stump that we're blocked by. So I'm going to want to make sure in the blueprint for that, that this piece is higher. Might have to go even higher. Which may produce the gap that I didn't want. Yeah, there's the gap, so these gotta go taller. Let's do a Z1.1. Same thing with this. Where's that? I'll just do it this way. There we go. I'm not too worried about getting snagged on this. I mean, we could get snagged on it, but I'm not worried about getting snagged on it. Yeah. Okay, so the general layout of this is good. I'm going to stop here just so I can reboot, and then yeah, I think that'll be a good option. So when we come back, hopefully I'll have the C++ side of this thing working, so we can take a look at coding everything and getting it set up. So, all right. Thank you for joining me, and I shall see you. Let's see, it's midnight, so I'll probably see you sometime tomorrow. All right. Later.